How's everybody? You guys good? All right. So, Karen, I'm Tony Sposato. As you guys know, we're the avocado green truck company that runs all over Sussex County or all over the peninsula. We currently have 5 locations on the peninsula, and we're running around 350 plus minus employees. So, but what we're going to talk about today is Sposato Family Vineyards. Went down to Argentina. We purchased a 250-acre plot, 3,000 feet above sea level, right on the base of the Andes Mountains on Wine Route 7. Let me see what I got here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take you from when we purchased the farm up to present. So there's going to be a big slideshow right now. So what we first did when we went down, we hired 2 attorneys, one from Argentina, one from Atlanta, Georgia, and an agronomist. Agronomist is the guy who studies the soils. Next thing we did, we looked at anywhere from 20 to 35 properties, and this is actually the property we bought. It was virgin ground, like what we talked about earlier. Next thing we did, we went to settlement. This is a 20-minute discussion right here, just talking about settling property outside the United States. After that, we hired Bermuda and Janssen architects, and we worked with them to come up with a master plan on the farm. This is actually the master plan that we're working off of right now. Currently, we have 155 acres in production. We're looking at a 300-ton plus harvest this March. And we're pretty much going right by the plan, and it is GPSed out to scale. They're also going to help us with, we started working on the winery and the guest house. We had to clear the property. Once we got it cleared, we had to run electric. We had to put in a well. We got a 12-inch well with a 50-horse submersible pump that can move a lot of water. Then we started the posting. We had to put in all the wiring, irrigation. So it basically became a really big landscape project for us. So we felt at home with this part of it. Then we started the planting. It's one of the first plants that went in. The plants grow. You know, people don't realize that grapevines they're weeds. These things grow. You can actually watch these things grow like 4 inches a day. They grow like weeds, but it produces a wonderful, beautiful fruit. So in the background, we got the Tupangata volcano, which is kind of nice. We just want that thing to stay like it is, because we could have a real mess if it got activated. So just recently, we put hail netting over the whole farm. That's another discussion, but you guys can ask questions about that. One of our first harvests, we do have 6 full-time employees, associates on the property. This is the winery we're using currently before we built ours. We're leasing a boutique winery. Uses grapes that are coming in for processing. It's one of the vats. We are fermenting in concrete and also in stainless, and we're using French oak barrels. It's our winemaker. One of 4 brothers. He's the youngest brother of the Ricciardi family. The father's a winemaker, also teaches at the local university in Mendoza. The oldest brother is the winemaker for the Rothschilds estate in Argentina. So it's nice. You know, we got very good networking with other families. We do all of our graphic design, bottling, labeling, packaging. Everything's done in Argentina. Once we do that, we put it in 20-foot containers on pallets, and we ship it up over the Andes Mountains into the Chilean ports. It comes up the Pacific coast, through the Panama Canal, up the Atlantic Ocean, through the Chesapeake Bay, into the Baltimore ports, goes through customs, and then we truck it here to Melton, Delaware. And this is our lathe. We just built this warehouse. It is temperature controlled. It's 63 degrees Fahrenheit, so we want to keep the quality in the bottle. As far as distribution, right now we're selling and we're distributing in Delaware, Maryland, Washington, D.C., and we just got picked up by Pennsylvania, which is huge. There's 25 million people, I think, in the state of Pennsylvania. And our goal is from here, we're going to go to Florida. We're establish ourselves in Florida, and then we're going to work our way back home to Delaware. So that's where we're at. I don't know where I'm on time. I can keep talking if you want.
45 seconds.
I got 45 seconds. So right now we have 7 varietals. We have 2 reserve bottles, Cabernet Sauvignon. We have a Malbec, which is obviously the signature grape of Argentina. We have a Malbec Classic, with Bonarda Classic. We have a Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, and we have a sweet blend. Sweet blend is made up of 3 different whites. It's made up of our Chardonnay, our Sauvignon Blanc, and a Torrontés grape, and it's got a taste of Frasante on it, so it's got a little sparkle to it. So there we are, Sposato Vineyards in a nutshell, and here we are.
I'm sorry, let's give Tony a round of applause, please.
Thanks.
We're going to start our Q&A.
Okay. All right.
Any questions?
Yes.
I heard something about your label. Something special about your label. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. Carrie, you want to talk about the label, or I've been doing all the talking?
It's okay.
All right. I guess I'll keep talking. So yeah, what we did with the label is, if I had a bottle here, I could hold it up, but you can kind of see it on the screen. We have a split label, and the reason why we did that is there's, I don't know if I can go back. Anyway, on our farm there's a dry creek, and normally when contractors come in, they'll just bulldoze these dry creeks out, and we'll just plant right to the base of them, and we'll just keep on going. So what we did is we saved 7 acres on the farm where this dry creek runs through, and it's a beautiful, beautiful area. There's a lot of nature, and then we get these big jackrabbits down there run all over the place, and you got owls that burrow into the soil, and they pop their heads out and look around, and they're all in this dry creek area. So we're like, we want to save this. We're landscape contractors, and we appreciate nature, so we saved it, so we put it on the label. So actually that line that runs through is the dry creek of the farm. And the other thing we did is we wanted to bring the soils of Argentina into the bottle. So there's 3 stripes going across our bottle. So, up here in the United States, here in Delaware, we have 2 layers of soil. We have the top layer and we have the subsoil. Well, down there they have the same thing. They got the top layer, then they got the subsoil, and then they've got this really deep volcanic river rock blend that goes down deep once you get through the subsoil layer. So what happens when the grapes grow, the roots, they go down, and they go through the first 2 layers, and they embed themselves into the rock. So we wanted to put that on there as a kind of a landscape type thing. Yeah.
I understand that you said that you're using wine or grapes from another vineyard. When will you be using your grapes?
We're using our grapes, and then we also, what we do is we don't buy grapes. We are agronomists. We actually work with a few other farmers where we oversee the grapes, and they're more or less our grapes, but they're being grown on somebody else's land. But yeah, last year we had, going back to the hail, we got hit with a hailstorm last January. I got a phone call like 7 o'clock in the morning from our manager down in Mendoza, and he's like, "Tony, we had a rough night." I'm thinking our John Deere tractor got stolen or something. So now we got hit with a 30 minutes hailstorm, and hail down there, because you got these Andes mountains that are covered with snow. And this cold air is coming by, and Mendoza is actually a desert. So when this cold air and this hot air hit, it starts going crazy. So we have a lot of hailstorms. Anyway, we got hit with a hailstorm. We lost probably 100, 150 tons of harvest last year. We got hit hard. So we made a huge investment. We just covered the entire farm with hail netting. I think I got sidetracked on the hail. Anyway, yeah.
Other questions? Two questions. Number one is, where can we get it here in Sussex County?
Here?
Everywhere.
All liquor stores?
All liquor stores here in Sussex County have our wines. We are currently, as Tony was saying, in all of Maryland, in our area here in Sussex County. But we're heading towards Ocean City. I'm from Harford County, Maryland. Anybody out there from Harford County, originally. And so we are branching out and heading up towards the counties, other than Sussex County, but heading into Maryland. And as Tony said, we're heading into Pennsylvania and looking into the DC and Annapolis market. And after, if you are interested, I have a sheet here. Instead of me standing here saying everywhere we are, you can come get one from us. I'd like to mention Katie Hopkins right here. She helps me with marketing. We work together on everything that you might see out on Facebook or out in even in the papers. But the retail list is here along with our restaurant list. So.
The second question is, as we are all awaiting this answer, do we all get samples?
Actually, we brought some wine.
There you go.
As Dr. Smith was saying, yes, and hopefully your ticket's the winning ticket.
One question
But,
here.
anytime you want to sample, I'm sure we can help you get one.
Question.
What inspired you to open a vineyard in Argentina?
That's almost the number one question. The number one question is why Argentina? Why'd you go there? And I guess that's kind of the same question.
Well, no, or why you decided to.
Well, we in about 2008 we wanted to venture into another agricultural venture, I guess. And we looked at greenhouses, we looked at getting into nurseries, and let's go outside the box and let's grow grapes. I'm Italian. I grew up around wine my entire life. Anybody else Italian in here? Oh, good. So you guys know what I'm talking about. And at that point, we wanted to grow a high quality grape. Napa, California is pretty much bought out. There's very little land that you can buy out there. And if you do have to go out there, you have to find an existing nursery. And we wanted to make this a project. We wanted to build it from scratch. So our focus went to Latin America, between Chile and Argentina and Mendoza. So we went down to Mendoza and we spent some time down there. We looked at the area and we ended up picking Mendoza. And then it started. So, and we came right in at the end of the buying. Now you really can't buy land down there. There are no more well permits given. They stopped well permits like 5-6 years ago. So we came right in at the end of it. So.
Tony and Karen, what can we as a community do to help you?
You can buy wine. Sposato wine.
That's a great question. I can answer some of that too, but yeah, definitely check out Sposato wine. But as I was mentioning, Katie and I do a lot of the marketing together, and we are the dynamic duo, and we get out there and we shout out to the world the tastings that we're having around town, coming to the dinners, and we just put on something really special, which was called our inaugural Taste Sposato Wine Run. And that was about 2 weeks ago. It was a big success. But that came to fruition with the idea that Katie and I had about doing a wine run. There's tons of runs here all over. You can just find them up and down the state and elsewhere. And we decided nobody's ever done a wine run, and obviously our wine should be the first. So we put that together, and big success. We needed to find and think of what we would do with the money that we raised, and I got a hold of Steve Schmidt, who put me in contact with Ed Key, the Director of Agriculture, and he put me in contact with Jason Bentley. So Jason, I know you're out there somewhere, thank you. I spoke with Jason, and we put together the Sposato Scholarship here for a graduating senior or somebody that's already in the program here at Del Tech, so that they would be awarded a $1,000 scholarship. So that's one of the ways that I think our community can come together for Sposato wines and pull people together to make a difference and help others. So.
Well, thank you so much for sharing today.
Ken Glanding here. I don't know. We went out and we hired an advisor also. Any smart entrepreneur always surrounds himself with someone who's smarter than they are. And Ken moved down this area. He lives down here, and he was vice president of Southern Wines for 42 years. And we brought him on, and he's been a tremendous help with our marketing and sales here, and also with Katie, who is our director of marketing. Yes.
Tony, how long did it take you from the time you thought about it, sat at the table, and you were at the winery and produced?
5-6 years. Yeah. So, okay, thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Appreciate it.